Hey guys, it's Jen from JCats Creations, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a very simple and easy wreath on a willow wreath frame from the Dollar Tree. The one I have, I actually already did some things to it. When I had bought it, I only bought one because I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. So I do apologize for that. I don't have one as it came, but this is the tag that goes on it. It is a 12-inch wreath frame. They have a 9-inch as well in this style, and the color that it comes in is actually very similar to the color on this paintbrush. It's like a very light natural wood color, and it does have a little bit of a shine, but it didn't really work for what I wanted to do with it, so I decided to paint it to see what would happen. It actually came out really well. It was very easy to do. Now, I'm generally someone that if someone talks about painting something, I'm out. I don't want any part of it. So I understand. So don't leave, because this is very easy and simple for, especially those of you like me that, painting really isn't your thing. So to just go over quickly what I did, and I'm not sure how well it's going to pick up, but there is glitter on it that I had done. And since there will be, most of this will be covered, so I didn't have to get too crazy with making sure it was like totally perfect. There are still some spots where you could see the wood color in there, but only a little bit of this is going to be showing through, so it's not that big a deal. If you have spray paint, it'd probably go a little bit faster. I didn't, but I did just have this type of a paint, the acrylic paint, in a white. So I just did, a pretty decent coat. It was just one coat of paint on here, and, pretty much by the time I got all the way around to where I started, it was dry, so it was pretty quick. So I put on a coat of that, and then I also have some satin varnish that I had put on there, and when I did that, I mixed in some glitter, and that's how I got the glitter to stick to it, as well as give it a coat of the varnish so nothing would happen to the paint. If you do go the route of adding glitter, just make sure that you have at least a satin, if not a semi-gloss or gloss. Any kind of a matte will dull out your glitter to where, there really was no point of even putting it on there. And like I said, if you have spray paint, it'll probably go a little bit faster. I would say that took me maybe a half an hour. So it wasn't that long of a process just to try to make this look a little bit better. So what I'm going to be doing with it, I have, this is a pip berry type of a garland. Just a little close up on that so you guys can see. And I thought it was really pretty because it has kind of a frosty look on some of the berries that I'm going to be using on this. Now this, and I do apologize in advance if it's making a really slidey sound on the mat. I'm going to try and keep that to a minimum if I can. A friend of mine had actually sent me this a while back. She still had the tag on it. I honestly don't know how long ago she had bought it, but the price was $21.99, and you could see that it came from Michael's, so they carry this brand. I know a lot of these craft and hobby places usually have, coupons or 40 or 50% off all the time. So, my guess is that she didn't pay anywhere near this price. So just be on the lookout, for the coupons or sales if you're trying to find a garland. And, there's obviously a ton of different types of garland. You could get, this where it's the berry or pip berry. You have the tinsel garland, kind of like what you use on your Christmas tree. Floral garlands that have, flowers and leaves, or you just have like the greenery garlands, with just leaves. So this is really just kind of an idea I wanted to show you guys, but there's really a ton of options out there for whatever you want to do. And like I said, I just wanted to paint it because it wouldn't really go very well with what I've got. But if you do like the natural color and it works, then, you don't even have to do that step at all. So let's see, let me get this stuff out of the way. I will be using scissors or wire cutters, depending on what you've got, because we will be attaching the garland with the zip ties. And then to finish it off, I just made a little bow. Instead of using like a piece of ribbon in the center to finish it off, I just did 2 like little glitter balls. Once again, I'm not sure if the sparkle's picking up here. And I attached some floral wire on the back to attach the bow. And this is the type of, these little glitter balls, or just regular ones. They come in like a pick, kind of like this. You could find this at most hobby stores or craft places too, probably even Walmart, you know, anything like that. And I just cut off the little balls that I want and do whatever I want with them. I don't always use these, you know, as a full pick the way they are. So that was just my choice. I just kind of wanted to bring some of the glitter, you know, from everything else into the bow, since the ribbon itself has no glitter in it. Now, I am not a bow maker. It's very rare that I make one. I do have a bow maker, but yeah, I don't really use it, and I didn't want to drag it out for just a simple bow. And pretty much I'm not going to embarrass myself, try to show you guys what I did here. So I will be putting a link down in the description below that gives you basically the same tutorial I follow. It's very easy and simple on how to just make a simple bow like this. And I'll also be putting a link in the description to this on the Dollar Tree website, so you could see what it looks like, you know, before it was painted. So to get started, I've already got this, you know, I took it out of its plastic and all that. And this is 6 feet, so it was a good size for this 12-inch frame. So they always generally have an end that looks like this. It's a loop. Now this is the front. The back I painted too. I got a little bit of glitter on the back, but I wasn't trying to. You know, I just did it so it would be a little more finished looking. So what we're going to do is kind of line it up somewhere, you know, a little bit more towards the back. So you guys could see like that. And then I'm just going to get a zip tie and attach it there. And a lot of times I just kind of do a dry run and, you know, kind of run it around just to make sure it's long enough and it looks good. So I'm just going to pretty much attach this wherever I can back here. Just like that. Make sure it's tight enough. And it's nice with the zip ties because, you know, once you've run it around and, you know, maybe you found a spot that you didn't really like where you attached it, you can just cut it and then readjust, you know, the garland wherever you want on it. So it's kind of a nice, you know, not permanent way of doing it instead of using hot glue or, you know, something like that. So then all you're going to do is just run it around. You're kind of fighting your little things here. You're going to have to do that with any garland you use. And I do kind of, you know, smush it and mold it a little bit just to make sure it's where I want it to be. And then I'll just use another zip tie over here. I usually do at least 4 going around the outside edge. Kind of, you know, 1 across from each other going each way, just to make sure that it's not going to slide around or move anywhere, anything like that. So we just attach that, and then I'll just go back and clip all these off when it's all on there. So I'll just do one more to show you guys. This is pretty much all you're going to do. Just go around and attach it. So probably like another spot here would be good. I try to find, you know, a little bit thicker, easier places to get your zip ties in. You can do the same type of thing with a grapevine wreath. They could be a little bit harder because there's usually a lot more vines to kind of fight through and work with. And the grapevine frames are usually a little bit thicker too. So this is actually nice to work with because you're not really having to dig through that many vines. So I'm just going to keep going around doing that just to give you guys an idea. Then once I kind of meet back up with where I started, then I just bring it more on the inside and just attach it in a few places going around the inside. So I'm going to get that done and then I'll be back. Okay, so I went around the whole frame and I attached the berry garland to it all. Like I said, I just also went in on the inner row. You could see this is where a zip tie was that I cut off. And I just did the same thing going around until I ran out of garland. Now, especially with these kind of berry or pipberry wreaths, garland, it's really up to you how much you want to spread these out. Some people kind of like them straight, you know, going all the way around. I do kind of like the squiggly look where, you know, I take each one and I kind of bend the wire a little bit. So, you know, it kind of gives them all a squiggle, helps spread them out a little bit. And that's something that it really depends on your particular taste of how you want to do that. You know, the other types of garland, the floral ones or whatever, you probably won't have to spend as much time kind of fixing them. But with these, you could pretty much spend as little or as much time as you want getting them where you want it. So a lot of times you'll see, if you're using something like this, that you're probably going to end up a little thinner on one side than the other, depending on how the garland kind of fell when you put it on the wreath. So in order to, you know, pretty much simply fix that is why I have the bow. So all I'm going to do is just attach the bow to this side where it's a little bit thinner, and that'll obviously help cover up the fact that there's a little bit of thinness. Then once it's done, I'll just kind of, you know, squiggle out what's here and spread it around a little bit. But this does help solve the problem of, you know, possibly having one side be a little thinner. And if you don't really want to go the way of a bow, these don't match at all, but it's just an example. You know, you could just get a couple of flowers, floral stems, and just put those around the side that's a little bit thinner. And that'll help cover it up just as well. So, you know, however you want to go with that, you have options. So I'm just going to attach my little bow now. Try to go through a little bit here. And this is just floral wire, so, you know, you could take your time with getting this positioned. You could move it around. Makes it all a little bit easier. Just twist that a couple times. And then where it's like, you know, where I like it, I'll just cut off the excess wire and just kind of tuck that in there somewhere so you don't have to worry about it scratching anything. So that's our bow. Now, if you guys would be interested in seeing me do more things with this type of a wreath frame, just let me know in the comment section down below. You know, if there's anything in particular you might like me to do, you know, with any of the other types of garlands or a season or theme or holiday or anything like that, I'm more than willing to do that. And, you know, I think there's a lot of things that you could do with one of these wreath frames that would be just as easy and look just as nice as this. So this does come out to probably about 14 inches now. Not too big. I didn't spread these out too far. So like I said, originally it's a 12-inch frame and the finished size is about 14 inches. I could fluff these out a little bit more if I wanted to. But like I said, that's really just a personal preference. So at this point, just give you guys a little close-up here before I hang it up on the wall. I'm just going to hang it up like I always do. We'll take a look. Okay. Okay, so that's what we've got up on the wall there. So even after that, you just go and, you know, fix everything, do whatever you want with it, just get it to where you want. But that's the basis of using the willow frame from the Dollar Tree. So I hope you guys like the tutorial. Like I said, if there's anything else you want me to do with this, just let me know down below, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.